Hello and welcome, domestic. And perhaps this is an episode that is, I say, the most important one. Why? Because the man, the cycling man. Gonzalo,
Right.
how are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
Doing great.
Yeah. So
It's good to have you here.
I,
We are a
I, I know it's
team.
funny.
We are a co-host. I say, well, let's do this. Sometimes you're the host, the co-host, the cameraman. You are the editor. We are a team, correct?
Right,
So,
right.
but today I'm very pleased because you are the man that is going to tell the audience all about, like, for example, who is Gonzalo?
Right. So first of all, before that, I just want to tell you that I think it's only fair that you have me in this position because we get people to talk to us. I convince them to come and have an interview, and our crew plays many different roles. It's only fair that you put me now in this position. Say now
Absolutely, yeah.
you have to answer the questions. So I'm okay with it, and hopefully we'll give everybody a little bit of an idea of what is the motivation behind domestic. So go for it.
That's why, and you know, in any organization, in any machine, you have a motor, the engine.
Yeah.
You are the engine. You are the one that pedals. You are the one that knows the bicycle in business. So tell the audience in this episode, then it's again one of the most important one. Who is Gonzalo, please?
Yeah. First, the short of it is I'm Chilean. I have been living here in the United States for about 30 years. But probably what they care about is that I am a cyclist. And I am very, very passionate, not only about cycling and spending as much time as I can on either the road or the gravel, but I'm very passionate about the community, the cycling community. Right? So that's why we started Domestic.
And we are in the best places, I believe, for cycling. South Florida.
You would think, right?
Yeah,
So
that's what I think.
This is one of the things that moves me the most to try to expose the beauty and everything that South Florida has to offer for cycling. If you think about it, in the United States, the meccas of cycling is Colorado and California. But those people cannot ride, like 4 to 5 months out of the year.
Wow.
We can ride every month.
Correct.
Right? So it just blows my mind that we are not better known as a community for cycling when you could come here and basically train the entire year.
So we are hitting the right audience because the audience, we hope it goes globally, but the audience is mostly South Floridians, correct?
Those are the friends that we're trying to get
absolutely.
involved.
Oh yeah, great. Now, as we speak about Gonzalo, how did you get to the cycling part of it?
Yeah, so about 10 years ago, a little more maybe, I used to run a lot. I used to do half marathons, and I used to do a little bit of cycling, mountain biking, but not structure. I didn't used to train or race, anything like that. It was more like a hobby. I would go to Markham Park with my mountain bike or take my kids and then spend an hour or two in mountain biking, and that was it. Until a friend of mine said, "You're doing mountain biking already. Why don't you try road cycling?"
10 years ago.
More than that. Probably
Really?
12, 13 years ago. And I said, okay, we'll give it a try. I didn't know what to expect. So I borrowed his Trek Madone, beautiful bike, and I just fell in love. And the first 5 minutes, I said, that's it. I have to do this.
Expensive bike too? That bike?
His bike was very expensive.
Yeah. Did you take care of it? Because that's part of it.
Yeah.
Like his toy.
No, we went over for like an hour.
Okay.
But I loved it. So probably about a week after that, I went to the store and I bought my first road bike right away. And then I haven't stopped since.
So it became a hobby, an addiction, or what?
A little bit of both. The hobby is the part that you spend riding.
Okay.
The addiction is the money that you spend on the toys. Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. But the truth is it's a passion. You think about getting stronger. You think about the equipment. So yeah, I wouldn't call it an addiction. It's more like a passion.
It's like golfing too. You play by yourself, but you demand so much from yourself. Is bicycling about the same thing? You demand, you push yourself?
I probably make it closer to running in the sense that when you're a runner, you're a long distance runner, like I used to do a little bit, is that you get that sense of accomplishment after you finish a long run, like a half marathon or a marathon. You get this feeling of, I can't believe that I did that. right? In cycling is the same way because when we do cycling, we go for 3-4 hours. When we do cycling, when we go riding on the levee, on the gravel, you go 4, 5, 6 hours. So it's
Wow.
when you're done, it's a great sensation. And the funny thing is that you're dead tired,
Mm.
and you're thinking, okay, when am I gonna do the next one?
Now, between you and I, what would you prefer, running or cycling?
Cycling.
Is it more exhausting? More you get like out of shape or anything?
I think I think running probably keeps you in better shape. The problem is as you age,
Yeah, I agree.
running is harder on your joints, your knees, everything.
So
Cycling,
bicycling is not that way. Cycling is not at all.
no, until you crash. But
Right, of course, of
yeah,
course. Speaking
but
of that, have you ever?
yeah, I had
That's
to.
one of the things, and sometimes we don't think about it. We look at the beautiful, like the nature. I love to see the pelotons in
Yeah,
South Florida, 20, 30, 40 of them. I really enjoy them, but
yeah,
that's the beauty of it,
yeah,
nature and stuff. Have you ever?
yeah. But I don't want to scare anybody who hasn't
Mm?
tried it before. Cycling is a super safe sport.
Hmm.
It's incredibly healthy, not only physiologically, but as a mental health is being used by many organizations to improve mental health. So cycling is burnout good. When you start racing, or when you get very competitive,
Ah,
like any other sport,
yeah,
then you introduce more risk.
of
So the
course.
two crashes that I have, one was on a race, on a gravel race. I got a bunch of stitches, and my other crash was on the road. We were going really fast in one peloton. Somebody made the wrong move, and then I crashed.
Now you
But
say
that is
really
not really
fast.
part of the sport.
Now you say really fast. How fast, approximately?
That day we were probably going 26, 27 miles per
That's
hour.
fast, huh?
For us, yes.
Yeah, no, of course, of course, of course.
You ask the process now, but for us it is.
But just looking at you and the conversations that we have in the past, you really have a passion for this. You like
It's
it
fun.
and you
Yeah,
love it. And it's like you can hardly wait to get out there, right? And
yeah.
speaking of that, how often do you go? Do you go seven
I
days a week? Oh,
almost every day. I mean,
almost?
like, yeah, if you ask any of them,
Yeah.
you'll see that everybody's desperate to go, and we go as much as possible. I, I think I told you before, I had to stop myself a couple of days to not go because you need to rest. But it's so much fun. I mean, you go here on the levee and you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
deer, you see
True.
bobcats, it's beautiful. So even then you say, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go super easy
Uh-huh.
and just, to have fun and enjoy it.
Now,
Yeah.
did any of these animals like bobcats or anything try to compete with you like the commercials? No, no, it doesn't
No,
happen.
no,
Okay.
no, no.
Now, you get this passion, this hobby,
Yeah,
and then you start domestic.
right.
How was this born and how are you doing today with
Yeah.
this?
Well, the idea of Domestic, the app, that's the first thing
Yes.
that we put together and we launched. Right. The idea was to try to make it easy for people that are starting cycling
Okay.
to know what to do and where to go. When I started, after my friend let me use that bike, and I bought my own, I saw these people riding on the street. I see groups over here, everywhere, but
Yeah.
I didn't know where to go. So I went online and I tried to look for rides to do, right?
Yeah.
And all the information was obsolete. You will read something there that was like 5 years old, and
Oh
those
man.
rides don't even exist anymore. So I figure if you had a real updated way to know where to go, it will make it easy for people like me. So that was one of the motivations behind starting the app. The other motivation behind the app was that as I started to ride and I started to buy components and buy
Mm-hmm.
bikes, I became friends with many shop owners, bike shop
Okay.
owners. And in conversations with them, I realized that because of the impact of e-commerce and the internet, a little bit of the business for them was being diluted. And these guys, they work a lot. They offer a great service. We
Mm-hmm.
go to them, and so I figure if I have an app with a directory of shops, at least I will make it easy for people to first find the local store before they try something online. So that's the genesis of the app. The app originally was just a directory of shops and
Okay.
as many rides as I knew for people to see.
So domestic, Gonzalo wants to reach all. This is your audience. the people that wants to start, the beginners, and some of the pros that are already doing it like you for over 10 years.
Yeah.
And see, these are the different channels that you can go for repairs or the how to, the weather, the roads to avoid, what do you do when it's raining, or how to avoid certain areas, etc., etc.
Yeah, so that's exactly how the app evolved. The way it evolved is that every time we went for a ride, we said, man, wouldn't it be cool if we had this?
Correct.
And then we come back the next week and we sit in front of the computer and we figure how to add that feature to the ride. So right now, for instance, you can communicate through the app. If you are a bike ride organizer, you can communicate with your teams. If you want to check the weather, you can get the weather right in the app without having to see any ads.
Okay.
Right? Which, if you go to weather.com, you have to scroll through or close a bunch of ads before you get your weather. With the app, you just see it there. So that's
happening today.
Yeah.
Now, so we spoke about how you started, the need for something like this to be in place.
Right.
What is happening today? Now, Gonzalo and the organization, what you're putting together, where do you see yourself in 2-3 years from now? Then this app is going to take all these cycling fans.
Yeah. So we see we're trying to create an ecosystem that riders can go to get value, so they can improve their experience. That's what we're trying to build. So that's why we recently launched the YouTube channel. So we launched the channel as a way to complement what we have in the app, which is more like a static information.
Okay.
To complement that with video, with multimedia, to get people psyched about cycling in South Florida, and also to show things that you cannot show in a static app, right? To show the videos of our experience riding in gravel or riding here in the A1A. Okay. We also are interviewing or talking. You've been part of this, of talking to people that are relevant to the community, where they can share their experience, what they do, and their own advice to the rest of us.
Do you want to go directly to the events or to the rides organizers to make sure that they count on your organization to spread the word, the word
so that's
when
exactly
the events are going to happen?
That's exactly it. So we are talking to ride organizers and event organizers and telling them, hey, this is a tool which is free. This is a tool where you can publish what you're doing and you can invite people to it. There's no cost. There's no cost for the riders. There is no cost for the events organizers. Just connect people, right? So the idea is that instead of if you're a rider in, say, in Fort Lauderdale, having to go to 10 different websites to put a picture of what you want to do, with the app, you go to the one app, and then you get there everything. You can get the rides, you can get the events, the shops, even coffee shops and everything like that.
Yeah. That is fantastic. And the other part then I see, speaking with you, is the educational component. To me, I think that's the most important, because there are risks involved, but there's also other risk. So you then have been doing this for years. Can tell those that are starting on, they can only be or have been there for a couple of years, the do's and don'ts. And I think that educational component is key.
Yeah, we're definitely bringing that to the YouTube channel and by extension to the app. So I think it's something better than me talking about those things. We're bringing experts that are really knowledgeable on that subject matter.
I see that.
And have them talk about it. So a couple of weeks ago, we had this guy, he's a doctor of physical therapy, to talk to us about the importance of having a bike fit, right? I know from my own experience, how important it is to get a bike fit so I can go faster and without any pain.
It does make a difference, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But this guy, he knows what he's talking about, right? So that's when we're talking about education, we want to bring people that know to communicate directly to the cyclists in South Florida and say, hey, this is the way to go about it. One of the things that we're really trying to do with Domestique, the app and the channel, is to get new riders, to bring people to the sport of cycling in South Florida, right? And there are many things that you need to learn besides just getting on the bike and start pedaling. Like when you ride in a group, the signals that you have to do to show the others what you're about to do, how to ride in a group, how to be safe, all these things. So you will see a lot of that in the YouTube channel, and you will see a lot of that in the app, because we want people that we're thinking about riding a bike to have in their hands everything they need to do it safely.
Interesting, because you say signals. You go like this when you're going to take a left, or you go
Yeah,
right. Or
well, yeah,
there's a captain there, right?
Everybody knows the signal, so you know that when
Yeah.
somebody in front of you makes a hand gesture, you know what's going on.
And also, if you are not a cycling person, when you're on the street and you're driving, just watch for cycling.
Oh, yeah.
Please, it's very important. You're part of it too. They are enjoying this hobby. That's their life. They have kids. They have wives. They have spouses. So just beware of them on the road. So thank you, Gonzalo,
Thank you for that.
being with us. And what your last word to all your fans?
Yeah, the Domestique, the app and YouTube is all about building up the South Florida cycling community. And the best thing that we can all do is to share the app. Make sure that your riding buddies know it, download the app, use the features. The same thing with YouTube channels, right? Like it, share it, all these things that you're supposed to do in YouTube. And when you see me out there, I always wear my Domestique jersey. If you see me, feel free to stop me and talk to me and give me your ideas of what will make Domestique better for you, right? What is it that you're missing when you're going on a bike ride? What will make your life easier? We're looking for those ideas. What you see today is what we came up with and the improvements that we have thought about during the process. But I am sure there are tons of ideas out there that will make this application and the channel that much better. So feel free, we welcome those.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Again, I'm Fernando Ortiz, and I see you cycling on the streets of South Florida. Thank you very much, Gonzalo. Appreciate it. Bye.